Imagine having 5 perched threadlings on you, a tangle in hand, and a rift ready to go to unleash an additional 3 threadlings. Throw the tangle, spawn 2 threadlings, deal damage to unleash your 5 perched threadlings, and cast your rift to spawn 3 additional threadlings. That's 10 threadlings in just a matter of seconds. That's all very achievable with the Swarmer exotic boots. They spawn 2 threadlings upon destroying a tangle, and any threadlings that hit an enemy will apply Unravel. Running total at the top of the screen, enemies unraveled will unwind into a tangle when defeated. That tangle is always going to unleash 2 threadlings. Just 1 consume grenade and then a rift cast, boom, 8 threadlings. Then we pick up a tangle, throw it at an enemy, and now we're at the 10 tangles. We're also unraveling everything while this is happening. And unraveling is going to spread all around for some additional free damage. On top of that, we also have Quicksilver Storm, its alternate fire mode for large burst damage, and that 40% extra damage to minor enemies. Combine this all together, also with continuity, we create a loop that never ends. Take something like Monochromatic Maestro and Elemental Fury, and then we're going to be able to deal additional damage and power up our threadlings even further. In 1 minute, we created 30 threadlings in master level content. That's a threadling every 2 seconds. Now, as for the gameplay loop, step 1, consume your grenade. We're going to be consuming our grenade continuously in this build almost 90% of the time, and then we're going to be able to cast our rift, which will replenish our grenade. Step 2, cast your melee. Powered melees can unravel targets, and it's going to generate some grenade energy via impact induction, and it's going to add unraveling to targets not damaged by any of your threadlings. You can use this as a backup for unraveling. Now step 3, collect or shoot the tangles. Collecting them is a little bit more beneficial because of refreshing pickups. It also ensures that your threadlings come back to you properly, because if you just throw it out there, they may not return back to you. You may be too far away. Now, one gameplay tip that I have for you is that in some circumstances, it is just better to throw the grenade for the immediate damage instead of consuming and having all 5 slowly roll out. That's only when your rift isn't available. Otherwise, just stick to the regular plan there. But next, let's take a look at our Strand Aspects for this class. Instead of the new flashy aspects, we're actually using the OG aspects in this build. The first one is Mindspun Evocation. This is where we can consume our grenade to immediately generate those 5 perched threadlings. Then we have Weaver's Call. Casting the rift will weave the 3 threadlings, and it deploys any that you have perched along with the 3 that it's going to cast, and that's how we have all 8 come out. So we've covered both aspects, we've covered the gameplay, so let's start looking at the Strand Fragments for this build, starting with fragment number 1. Now, Threat of Warding, it's going to reduce our resilience by a tier, minus 10 resilience penalty on this fragment, but it is actually really worth it because it provides a 55% damage reduction in the build upon collecting an Orb of Power. And in the meta that we're in right now in the sandbox, collecting an Orb of Power is very easy to do, as you and your teammates can generate them quite frequently. And this is just for general survivability, and that's really great to always have. Fragment number 2 in the build, Threat of Generation, minus 10 discipline penalty on this one. Now, dealing damage will generate grenade energy. This seems to be very important in this build. This is a key fragment, and it does generate a lot of grenade energy. Even the threadlings that are being sent out from the tangle will help you generate some extra grenade energy. Now, fragment number 3 is Threat of Evolution. It comes with a plus 10 intellect bonus. Threadlings will travel farther, and they'll deal additional damage. The travel distance is increased by about 30%, and the damage is also increased by about 30%. So this is very, very critical. Do not skip this one because it's the most important one of the fragments. This is going to make the threadlings deal more damage. We combine this with Elemental Fury artifact mod, and then it's going up somewhere about 40% extra damage. And when we can get 8 of them going out at once, that's a lot of extra damage that we're going to be able to have in the build. Now, for the 4th fragment, we're not using Suspend in this build, so that rules out all fragments that deal with Suspend. We have a plethora of ways to generate threadlings, so we really don't need Rebirth or Finality. Isolation is a solid pick if you prefer to Sever, but because we already have Unravel in the build, we can also fit Continuity with Sever, so Sever would wear off 50% faster without Continuity as an applied fragment. We don't really need any more melee energy, as it's not a big focus in this build. It does unravel enemies, but our threadlings have that handled for us, which means we won't need propagation or fury. Ascent and binding don't really provide us much utility in this build, so those are out of the question. That means the best in slot is going to be continuity for our 4th fragment. It allows the unraveling threads to be present longer, therefore allowing for the threads to spread around to more enemies and deal more instances of damage repeatedly as they continue to be refreshed. Then, as those unraveled enemies are destroyed, they will turn into a tangle. So we have a way to generate some additional tangles, which can always guarantee an additional 2 Threadlings. So next, I want to talk about some of the important artifact mods for this build. We've mentioned some of them previously, but I want to clarify and provide some further detail, in-depth descriptions about those artifact mods and how they fit in the build. The first 2 are Anti-Barrier Auto Rifle and Unstoppable Fusion. Weapon-based artifact mods for stunning champions. Anti-Barrier will make your auto rifle Quicksilver Storm, Anti-Barrier, and then Unstoppable Fusion, and you can use the fusion of your choice for stunning unstoppables. Next, we have 4 mods on the screen. Diviner's Discount, so we can scavenge more ammo for our Strand weapons, which is going to be our heavy weapon in this build. Thanatotic Tangles, to make sure that we can generate tangles from Quicksilver Storm without any additional fragments. Then Origin Perk Specialization 1 and 2, which is just going to buff Quicksilver Storm and Circular Logic if you happen to be using that LMG in your heavy power ammo slot. Then we're going to have Overload Machine Gun when we're using a machine gun and dealing with Overload champions. Elemental Fury is going to be important for dealing additional damage with your Threadlings against champions. Refreshing Pickups if you're solo, and communal pickups in team-based environments. Now, the last 2 in the last column of the artifact are going to be Monochromatic Maestro and Rapid Fire Ranger. Rapid Fire Ranger will apply a weakened debuff of 15% with our auto rifle against enemies, paired with Monochromatic Maestro to increase our damage up to 25% potentially. Now, last but not least is going to be our armor mods for our build that are going to help push this build to the next level. First, we're going to start on the helmet here and take a look, and you will see that we run Harmonic Siphon to generate orbs, Heavy Ammo Finder, and Heavy Ammo Scout because of our exotic primary to help our teammates get heavy ammo. Make sure you have Grenade Kickstart on, that's going to be important in the build. And then we're using our melee with Focusing Strike as well as Impact Induction to generate class ability energy and some additional grenade energy. 20% for our grenade and 20% for our class ability to help continuously loop our grenade and Threadling damage with Grenade Kickstart. On the chest, run 2 copies of the Resistance mod for the damage that you need. Run 1 copy of Harmonic Siphon in case you want to use the Trials Grenade Launcher. Then we're going to run Recuperation, Stacks on Stacks, and Strand Scavenger, which will only cost 1 because of Diviner's Discount. 1 copy of Bomber, 1 copy of Outreach, and 1 copy of Firepower. That will round out all of your armor mods for this build. Then we have our weapons. I'm using Cartesian Coordinate with Lead from Gold and Vorpal. Then I have Cataphract GL3, Envious, and Bait and Switch to deal some good burst damage on champions. We have Circular Logic, which also has Target Lock, and the Nanotech trait, which is going to be buffed on the artifact. Lead from Gold and Vorpal are really nice as well. Those are going to be my recommended weapons for your loadout in this build. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I was a little bit skeptical for a long time to make a Swarmers build video because I really didn't think it was that good. I think the artifact helps a little bit, but it will be just fine when the artifact is gone and we move into Season 23. It's a strong build, it's fun, it was great in master content. All of the footage in this video is from master content. I do think it's still viable inside of a GM, maybe not the most potent, but it definitely has some potential. If we see some Threadling buffs along the lines, maybe something just like 10% more damage and better tracking on them, a little bit more intuitiveness for which targets that they're going to target and how they can get to them would be nice, but I know that's a very complex and complicated form of coding. But nonetheless, Strand Swarmers build done and complete here, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It is actually really good, and a lot of people told me you should try Swarmers, so I put them on, I gave them a try, and I was not disappointed. So I hope you enjoy using them as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also join the Discord. We can talk about builds, you can share builds that you have, and you can just find people to raid with and hang out with in the Discord. So make sure you like and subscribe, join the Discord, and have a great day.